Anyway, it's this whole thing where basically in the old days, I guess sometimes people didn't really pay attention to which black person died or something like that. I don't know. But basically, Eddie Murphy, when well, what he did, what he used to do, what he did, what he does a lot, basically, is he puts an ID with. I guess he looked like Eddie and Jerry actually look exactly alike. So he took his ID and put it in Jerry's pocket, and it's where and then later on and then he took Eddie Murphy's ID, and he just got a new picture on the ID for it. Basically, it's how Eddie Murphy. You look at his yearbook things. He's this pimple faced guy, this pimple faced kid, black kid, has all kinds of pimples, and then later on you see him and he's like all nice and clean shaven and looking good and everything else like that, and it's like Eddie Murphy. And it's like Eddie Murphy actually killed, or Jerry actually killed Eddie Murphy. Jerry was this other guy, other black guy, and and he actually, his family actually killed his dad or something, killed Robin Williams' parents basically, and then he lived in the house for a while, and then and then later on, finally his parents get kicked out and put in prison or something for murder, for murdering Robin Williams' parents, basically, the Robins or whatever. And and I don't know, it's all complicated with the whole like where Eddie Murphy's like this psycho guy. He goes to try and kill the leaders of China, and does all this bad horrible stuff, and has like 25 of his guys running around with cyanide poisoning other things, a bunch of black people trying to take over the movie industry or some shit. Anyway, he wanted. Anyway, he put a bunch of contracts out on a bunch of. He basically tried to kill every leader of every country at one point in time. Yeah, he would just go and move in, basically kick up his heels on what's called. But then a lot of black people did that. Anyway, it's like a black thing, basically. Like I say. Anyway, though, and he was like, and like the whole black culture was trying to kill Robin Williams and his parents, and they ended up killing his girlfriend or something like that. And it actually made it so nobody would actually even buy drugs from black people. And it's actually how the Mexicans actually took over the drug market, because black people were killing so many people that the Mexicans just started selling drugs, and people didn't want to buy from a black person because they knew about Eddie Murphy and his family. So they bought from Mexicans. So Mexicans took over the drug market, basically. It's a crazy story. It's true though. Because black people are really, like I said, they only come into existence or come into civilization like they're late. They were hiding. They were in the jungles, and then they come into existence, and all of a sudden they're so rich and so powerful, and it's like, no, you're not. Whose stuff did you steal? Anyway, like Eddie Murphy actually should be broke and on the street actually right now. But he's driving around nice cars and all kinds of stuff, and it's because they killed Robin Williams' parents basically and stole his money and stuff. That happens, I guess. Anyway, I hired Robin Williams on, and I thought he was still rich, but he wasn't rich apparently. Apparently, somebody had stolen all his money. So, anyway, he saved all his money and basically hired investigators and all that other stuff, and also for a while there, he could pack an audience much better than Eddie Murphy ever could, because he was actually funny, and he actually he had something to prove. Yeah. Anyway, and he ended up being a lot more funny and a lot cooler and a lot more loved and cared about. Of course, so is his parents. Robin Williams' parents were like superstars. They were like really cool. Like, I liked them too. They're really awesome. I knew them. And the Robins, they were famous. So anyway, apparently someone was trying to cover up how famous they were, how influential they were, just like me. But then again, they covered up me, so that's another reason why people believe me, because like, yeah. Anyway, besides like, I feel sorry for the guys that tried to kill me when I was a kid. It's like, yeah, I'm the creator of humanity and the creator of 12 races and 800 galaxies. I'm not Brian. I'm not just Brian. I know I look like Brian, but Anyway, whatever. Oh well. But anyway, though, but yeah, black people didn't have any civilization at all, and just kind of came in. Like we helped them out and helped them get some stuff, and then they turned to cyanide poisoning and started killing people and lying a lot about it. Even trying to pretend like they're slaves. They were never slaves. They had nothing to do with anything. They were hiding in the bushes and would raid the farms and steal the stuff, or they would jump on the cars and drive off and then get stuck in the mud 200 yards further. They would try and drive the cars back to their mountain caves and get stuck. Like, I'm serious, they would try and drive their cars to go pick up their family in the jungle and then get stuck. You can't drive up that way. There's no roads. Maybe if you build a road, you could drive to your house. It's the way it was. Seriously. They'd go and drive to try and pick up, I don't know. It's a black thing. Like, they can never come out of the bush. Have to drive into the bush to pick up family. And then drive out of the bush. Like, I'm serious. They would find all the cars stuck in the bushes where they would try and rip off pieces or something like that to make knives. It's not a joke. Except they'd get stuck in the field before they got to the bush. True story. Back in look at the pictures. You'd sight all these cars stuck about halfway across a farm, heading towards the trees. It was so and Eddie Murphy would talk about this too. It was so they could go and try and rip off pieces of metal so they could make knives, and so they could go and kill the farmers. Because fists, you can't really. It's hard to kill someone, and they were parasite ridden, and starving. But I mean, yeah. So that's what black people used to do. They would steal the steam cars and stuff, and they would drive them off into the bush to try and rip off pieces of metal. Or they'd try and you'd see a black person like trying to rip off a. There's film of it too. Black people like trying to rip off a hood of a car so they could go and try and work it and make a knife, and then they would go back and try and stab the farmer in the neck. And the farmers had German-made weapons. Come running at a person with a knife, you know what they're going to do. Anyway, yeah, black people have this whole thing going on. I don't know, I guess they didn't know I was their creator. Anyway, yeah. So that's the black race actually was like the people that hid in the jungle and would try and tear off pieces of steel so they could kill farmers, or so they can, I mean, Irish knew black people. Germans knew black people. Everyone knew black people. They hid in the bushes, and then they would come out, or they would try and sneak into the farm, or they would try and rape the farmer's daughter. That's about all they did. They don't know. We had to try and figure out what that meant. Something about food and pee-pee and, I don't know, sex. That might be sex. Serious, they had no language. So, they had no writing. They had no history. They have nothing. They're nothing but rapists, and they're full of parasites. So they'd leave little parasite trails. And you could see where they raped the daughter. Because there's a little parasite there, and she would have a parasite in her too. 2 parasites, actually. 2 parasites for the price of 1. But German doctors went in and went, okay, take this. 2 pills. 3 weeks. There you go. The other parasite, we can't do anything about that one. We'll make a pill for that one too. I think there was a problem because killing one parasite was harder than killing the other parasite. Which one do you want to keep? The one in your stomach or the one in your stomach? So we had to make something because parasite, unless you wanted to live with the parasite for 9 months, we had to make up a drug that would kill one parasite without killing the other parasite. So what do you want to keep and what do you want to get rid of? Okay, All right, well, we'll have to dial it down a little bit.